WCBI News at 10 starts now.
A short meeting could have long-term implications for tourism efforts in Lowndes County and the city of Columbus. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Quentin Smith. The Columbus Convention and Visitors Bureau met for less than 10 minutes this afternoon. The board formalized amendments they made to a proposed interlocal agreement with the city on how to distribute the money from the 2% restaurant tax. They approved the final version on a 5-4 vote. The only issue left to resolve now is when the CVB will make those payments to the city. Now, the CVB requests October 1st, since that's when its fiscal year begins. But the city is asking for a July 1st payment date. The agreement has now been handed over to the Columbus City Council. The CVB sent their interlocal agreement to city leaders before today's council meeting. However, during the meeting, city leaders did not discuss the agreement. Columbus Mayor Robert Smith says they still need more time to look things over. Once they look at all of the details, Smith says the board will then hold a special meeting to address the issue.
The council members haven't really had an opportunity to look at the interlocal agreement, so they'll get a copy of it first thing tomorrow morning, and then hopefully either tomorrow afternoon or Thursday we'll have a special meeting, and then we'll vote on it.
Also during today's meeting, the police department honored Officer John Tulipan for his outstanding work in the community. The officer responded to a 3-year-old's call that his mom wasn't breathing. Tulipan provided professional medical care and comfort until medical help arrived. He also bought a police starter kit and a football for the 3-year-old. CPD also recognized Jessie Drew. She organized multiple search parties to find Christopher Reed after he went missing for 3 days. The Starkville Board of Aldermen had a full agenda for tonight's meeting, but one item thought to be on tap was tabled. Aldermen have been expecting to serve up a proposed Gold Cup ordinance for public discussion. However, the board is planning to iron out details at a scheduled work session before presenting the plan to the public. Now, the board did approve a motion to move forward with phase 2 of an annexation study being conducted by Slaughter and Associates, and they also voted to conduct a citizen survey on the city's parks. During executive session, the board voted to terminate police dispatcher Latice Fisher and advertise for a new police dispatcher. Now, you may remember, Fisher was indicted for murder in the death of her child last April. In a historic move, 8 members of the Starkville Police Department were singled out for their actions in response to the shooting at a Walmart that claimed the life of Dr. Shauna Witt. Corporal Scott Lomax and officers Antoine Golden and Aaron Hano received the department's highest honor, the Medal of Valor. Sergeant Wesley Cohn received the Commendation Medal, and officers Angelica Colbert and Dylan Bowers, along with dispatchers Jackie Epps and Francis Ewing, received letters of positive performance.
We have a remarkable police department, and they exhibited that exceptional character and trait of professionalism with the tragedy that we had at Walmart. And that's what those awards were for, is to recognize the additional work, the extra care and valor that they exhibited when they took care of that very terrible situation. Both they took care of the people who were in Walmart, and they took care of the person who was the perpetrator, and they did their best to try to take care of the person who was the victim.
And this was the first time in over 25 years that this city has awarded the Medal of Valor. Well, it's a case of double trouble for a Houston man as he finds himself facing serious charges in 2 jurisdictions. Starkville police have charged Jalen Javon Gates with 2 counts of aggravated assault. The charges stem from a late January shooting at the Starkville Sportsplex that left 2 people injured. Gates' bond is set at $100,000, but he's currently sitting in the Prentiss County Jail, charged with 2 counts of armed robbery and 2 counts of kidnapping in connection with the robbery on February 1st at the College View Apartments in Boonville. His bond in that case is set at $250,000. And it's now time to get a first look at our weather. And for that, we'll send things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson, who's standing by with more. Keith?
Hey, Quentin, right now it is 10:06, a great night for ducks across the area. A live look at Oxford. You can see the rain coming on down there at the track at Ole Miss. It has been raining cats and dogs here in northwest Mississippi. Some additional showers with embedded thunder showers near Bruce and Calhoun City, and several more waves of showers and storms down to the south and west. And this will continue to fill in, folks. So all of that rain back to the west is coming our way for tonight. We'll talk totals and have your forecast for the next 7 days in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Keith. The Kemper County Power Plant was expected to make Mississippi a leader in the new clean coal technology. But instead, the plug's been pulled on that part of the multi-billion-dollar project. The plant has come with a more than $7 billion price tag. And there's been talks of some passing some of those costs on to ratepayers. As Courtney Ann Jackson explains, there's new closure on that question.
When you talk Kemper, it began 9 years ago with the promise to produce clean power. Yet, regretfully, Kemper Lignite produced more problems than it has power.
The Mississippi Public Service Commission didn't want to see customers pay for the technology that never fully reached its goal. It was coal gasification technology that would have allowed them to capture CO2 and send it out to be reused for enhanced oil recovery.
We wanted to make sure that customers were not liable for any part of the assets that were related to the coal gasification portion of the plant.
The customers of Mississippi Power Company have not ever paid and will not ever pay 1 red cent for the mistakes that were made by Mississippi Power Company, the cost of the gas fires.
The plant will now operate solely as a natural gas power plant. Mississippi Power had once warned of a total rate increase of up to 40%, but the settlement also includes a rate decrease.
About $3 per bill.
Meanwhile, Mississippi Power said in a statement, throughout the settlement process, Mississippi Power has met each directive from the commission and has worked with key parties to ensure our customers are shielded from any increases in rates related to Kemper. We look forward to the continued operation of this efficient natural gas facility, which has been serving our customers for more than 3 years.
Now, this deal puts the full financial burden of $6.4 billion on the shareholder. Hattiesburg Oilman still opposes the deal and says that he may challenge the details of the settlement. Well, tax season is upon us, and people are trying to organize records and receipts. Tax professionals say whether you're doing your own taxes or going to service for help, it's important to thoroughly check the information given to the IRS. Anything that comes back as fraudulent could result in criminal or civil penalties. A conviction for tax evasion can send you to prison for up to 5 years, along with fines. Now, it's also important to protect your identity when filing. If your Social Security number has already been used to file, it could prevent you from getting your returns in a timely manner.
I use an accountant that does my taxes because when I was doing it, I was leaving money on the table. They know things that you don't know, and so in the end, it's really cheaper to use somebody that knows what they're doing.
Now, April 15th is the last day to file taxes without an extension.
There is a flash flood watch in effect for parts of the area, although we all may see some very heavy rain tonight. And look at some of this urban flooding going on in Oxford this evening. It is raining cats and dogs in parts of the area. The full forecast is coming up next. Stay tuned.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Great to see you on our Tuesday evening. Clouds moving on in. Showers coming on in today. There are the clouds coming on into Vernon, Alabama at Durham's Pharmacy, our Alpha Insurance time lapse. Let's go to Tupelo. Much the same story. It's been fairly cloudy all day. It's been fairly stable temperature-wise all day, 40s and 50s around the region for the most part. And now we are looking at wave after wave of heavy downpour with a little bit of embedded thunder and lightning just northwest of Tupelo, out towards Boonville, Corinth, back towards Ripley, New Albany. Very heavy rain, as we showed you in Oxford, too. There's a batch coming into Bruce, Calhoun City, and Calhoun County. Another little wave, weaker, but coming on through Starkville, the Golden Triangle area here, and more rain back to the west, and it keeps redeveloping here. So as we showed you earlier, and as we are showing you right now, we have extensive rain across the deep south. On the northern fringe of this, it's actually an ice storm, but we will not see that. We will have this additional wave come on in later on tonight. So we still think there's going to be some heavy rain around here. We've got a frontal boundary draped right overhead, a little bit more unstable to the south, much colder to the north, and this boundary may move up to the north just a little bit here tonight. So we may see a few temperatures rise over the next couple of hours before we crash those temperatures down to reality tomorrow as we get behind the front. Maybe a gusty storm, perhaps a little bit of tiny hail with some of the stronger cells tonight, but by and large, we're looking at a heavy rain threat. Wind, not a big deal. Severe weather, not a big deal overall, but heavy rain certainly is. 1 to 3 inches of rain certainly possible across our region as we go throughout the night. There's that flash flood watch, but all areas may see this heavy rain potential. So right now, We have the rain filling on in. Futurecast doing a pretty good job, and by 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, very heavy rain just lined up across all of our coverage areas. So if you've missed out on the rain so far today, it's coming, folks. It's going to be a wet night, and it should be a wet commute across a good chunk of our region tomorrow morning. But by mid to late morning, into the early afternoon, the rain's done. Clouds hold on. It's going to be a blustery type day for us with temperatures mainly in the 40s, if not 30. So here's our next 24 hours in Columbus. Holding steady after midnight, and then quickly falling down into the 40s by mid-morning tomorrow. Tupelo, much the same story, holding steady here. Maybe a shot at some low 50s over the next couple of hours, but quickly into the 40s, and we may actually hold steady somewhere in the upper 30s tomorrow with extensive cloud cover and some wind. So it's going to be a blustering cool day, but the rain will be done by midday tomorrow, it would appear, in all spots. Just very wet tonight. We'll dry it out Thursday. We're looking at highs in the 50s, but tomorrow night we get back down into the mid to upper 20s, so a roller coaster ride here. Back to 60 on Friday, a chance for some late day showers, but more heavy rain, more showers here possible this weekend with highs in the 60s.
Coming up, a pet transfer service sends off its 4,000th animal. Find out how this service has improved the percentage of adoption rates next.
Welcome back, everyone. Overcrowding is a big problem for humane societies in our area. But thanks to a transport program, adoption rates are skyrocketing. Our Parker King went to the Oktibbeha County Humane Society, where their express vans are about to mark a milestone.
For over a year, the Oktibbeha County Humane Society Express has been taking van loads of animals to new homes across the country.
The goal is to try and move animals from areas where we have tons of adoptable animals and not enough demand to areas where there's high demand and not enough animals.
The Express program comes after OCHS received a $500,000 capital grant from PetSmart in 2016, paying for the 2 vans.
This grant was a blessing to our organization. We are now able to send more animals and actually serve our community better by housing more animals.
Before, the shelter did have a transport system, but we're still having to put down around half of the animals in their facility.
We had to do a lot more euthanasia just due to space. It's a really hard thing. And now, thanks to our transport program, we're able to adopt out about 98% of our animals.
And it's not just Oktibbeha County. This service takes in animals from around the area.
There are a lot of other counties that don't have the resources like we have here, so we are able to partner with rescue groups and shelters to help move some of their animals that are a little bit harder to place.
The program is hitting a milestone with Tuesday's transport.
Velvet is going to be our 4,000th puppy dog transfer.
Awesome. Sending animals like Velvet to a place with a demand gives employees at OCHS a sense of accomplishment.
The feeling that you get from knowing that every animal you come in contact to, just about, except for really sick or injured ones, gets to find that forever home is a really great feeling.
In Starkville, Parker King, WCBI News.
Coming up, we recap a massive night of men's basketball in the Southeastern Conference with Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Alabama next in sports.
It's WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe.
Right into the highlights we go. Mississippi State riding a 3-game win streak tonight into the hump, taking on Alabama for the second time this year. And early on for the Bulldogs, down 2, Nick Weatherspoon stepping into a triple. Or that would tie the game early on. They were down by 3. More from the Bulldogs, though. Quindary Weatherspoon driving, step back. Yes, sir. MSU looking pretty good offensively, still in the first half. When you get Lamar Peters going off the bounce, look out. He's going to find Abdullah Dude. Don't mind if I do. 2-hand slam. It's more from Lamar Peters later on, again, off the bounce. This is against Colin Sexton. That's one of the best on-ball defenders in the country. Probably going to be a top 5 lottery pick. Right by Peters, he goes, gets 2 more. And then more MSU. Shot clock winding down. There's Xavier Stapleton for 2. And then right before the half, Peters is going to find Nick Weatherspoon, who's going to drive through contact, gets the basket plus the foul. Bulldogs led 30-28 after the half, and he's even flexing on him. Second half, Bulldogs down 2. Eric Holman, big block on Dazon Ingram, and then in transition, Lamar Peters up ahead. Look at Xavier Stapleton to Quindary Weatherspoon for the slam. We're tied at 49 on that little sneaky stuff. And then more from Peters, off the bounce, fadeaway. That's not an easy shot. Bulldogs go ahead, and then to cap it off in the second half, State goes to Q. who leaves it for Eric Holman. Get out of the way. Two-hand Thunder Chunky. Bulldogs get the win, 67-63. They've now won 4 straight in SEC play for the first time in a decade. Here's a reaction from the team after the big win.
And this is obviously our best win of the year. They're an NCAA tournament team for sure. So that's a real quality win for us. And really excited about our toughness and how we defended. To hold them to 36.7% from the field was the key to the game.
We've been winning because of our defense. We've really been guarding people. And we came to this game with a lot of confidence. And like you said, they've been beating us, and that made us just even go harder because we knew we didn't want to keep losing to them.
We knew they was coming in here very confident that they can beat us, and this win, it means a lot to us. I mean, this game we've been talking about before the season, so it's very big for us to just get this win right here.
Over to the Pavilion, Ole Miss got out to an 11-0 lead on Missouri. Then the Tigers went on a 30-11 run. Cassius Robertson was just lighting it up. He gets the triple there. Rebels are now down double digits. It's just Andy Kennedy's team has been so high and so low this year. There's so many valleys and so many mountaintops. That's a 3 there for DeAndre Burnett. Rebels trailed to 40-31 at the break. Second half, again, here comes the rally. Off of the steal here, Terrence Davis going to come in transition, gets the one-hand stuff. Then later in the half, Markel Crawford is going to show you in transition there. Actually, Breon Tyree going to show you in transition that he can step into a 3. We are tied at 46. Told you, down 9 at the half. Now we're tied with 12 minutes to go. Then Dominic Olenichik coming off a screen. Great pass there from DeAndre Burnett. Rebels are now up 4 with 10 minutes to go. That lead would evaporate because Missouri started getting hot from Trey Lane. And Cassius Robertson again, he had 28. There's a corner 3. Rebels needed a bucket under 2 minutes to go, and they would go to Breon Tyree off the bounce. Great lead to Olenichik for 2 more. We're tied at 67. But Missouri would get a free throw party going late. They win at 75-69. The Rebels fall to 11-13 overall, 4-7 in SEC play. All right, switching gears to baseball now. Before you know it, we'll be out on the diamond enjoying warm temperatures with the boys of summer. For Mississippi State, the Bulldogs won't get to have a home game at the new Duty Noble Field until March, but that's not stopping the good vibes and high expectations of a run to the College World Series with our area Diamond Dogs.
I think we can go to Omaha and win it. I mean, we have all the pitching we need, and we got great players at every position.
I think we can be unstoppable. We have incredible amounts of pitching. I mean, we may have lost a few bats in the lineup, but we still have a lot of guys that we know that can step up for us and that played big roles for us in the past that are going to play big roles for us now.
We'll be really good, I think. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm on the team, but I honestly think that we'll be outstanding. We got arms for days, and I just feel like I know we're going to hit. And defense, we ain't worried about defense. I think we're one of the best defensive teams in the country.
2 arms MSU won't have. Spencer Price, Graham Ashcraft, both are expected to be out for the season with injuries, but still pretty extended pitching stat that MSU has. Here's the early projected lineup for Andy Cannonzaro. He did sort of give us a couple clues. Hunter Stovall will be at second, and Luke Alexander will be at short. Those are set. Tanner Allen probably going to be at third. Outfield still up in the air, but Rowdy Jordan's a freshman. He's going to be playing there more than likely, along with Jake Mankum, Elijah McNamee. You'll see Hunter Vansaw in there somewhere as well. And then that pitching rotation, those Friday, Saturday starters, those are nasty with Connor Pilkins and Ethan Small. Then Sunday, you can expect a rotation between Jacob Billingsley, Cole Gordon, Zach Neff, J.P. France. You'll be seeing Devin McQuarrie in there as well. But this MSU baseball team is going to be pretty solid this year. And then one final note for you, our signing day special coming up tomorrow, 6:30. We'll have over 20 schools with area signings. We'll recap it at 6:30. We'll have it throughout our 4 shows on our Sportscast coming up tomorrow. Our signing day headquarters is online on our website as well, WCBI.com. So we'll be very busy tomorrow. We hope you can join us for all the fun with 2018 National Signing Day. That is it for sports. We'll get a last look at your forecast next.
Live look in Tupelo right now. We have some heavy rain, some thunder and lightning coming on into the Tupelo area right now. Let's check out the radar. You can see a lot of heavy rain. We've already had 1 to 2+ inches estimated from Ripley down to Oxford here this evening. Some spots could see over 4 inches of rain tonight, Quentin, and more rain possible this weekend.
So we got rain and cold weather coming in.
There you go for tomorrow.
Not a good combination. No. Thanks for tuning in with us. Hope you have a good night.